Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another weather forecast here by Agent Weather Forecast. Again, I do apologize for being inconsistent with my uploads so far this week. I had two straight games on Monday and yesterday, and I get home very late when it comes to game days. So that's kind of why I couldn't post for those days. But usually my games are Tuesday and Thursdays, but I had to make up a game on Monday, so I do apologize for all of this inconvenience, which is why I'm able to post today because I do not have a game, but I do have a game tomorrow, so I won't be able to post tomorrow either. But in this video, we're going to be talking about the major snowstorm and as well the potential for quite significant severe weather across portions of the plains as we go later into this week here. So we're going to be seeing a massive snowstorm developing across the Midwest and Rockies, and that's going to be allowing for some potential massive severe, or at least some decent severe weather to continue across portions of the plains there in the South Central. So we have two things to really look at: winter weather and spring weather. But before we get in the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and the bell icon if you have not already done so. But without further ado, let's get into the forecast. So this is looking now at the latest GFS here, the 18Z, and here to look at the next 66 hours. So we're seeing a low pressure right here coming from the southwest, and we're seeing a potential or a quite significant high pressure up in the Pacific Northwest. They're at 1,029 millibars, and that's going to be a line for that very cold air to make its way into the portions of the western United States, a line for this significant snowstorm across those areas in this higher elevations where we have those below freezing temperatures. But to the east, where we have some warmer temperatures there, we're going to be seeing some potential severe weather on the eastern side of that low pressure, where it's going to be a lot warmer up in portions of the 60s and 70s. As we now get later into this Sunday here, 84 hours out, the low pressure is going to be right stuck in the middle of the rain. So you can kind of split right into the middle of this low pressure. You actually kind of do that. Split the low pressure in half. The western half bring that really heavy snow because we have that cold air from that high pressure, bring that really cold winter weather. And as well to the east, there we have that severe weather because it's going to be so warm up in portions of the 70s and even nearly 80s across portions of the south central. So really watch out for some severe weather, specifically across these areas and potential blizzard conditions out here in portions of the west. So I won't doubt if we actually have some blizzard warnings with the snowstorm. And as we now get later into now Monday, so the next Monday, that severe weather is going to continue to be a big threat as it does move eastward into portions of the South Central and Ozarks. And that snow will continue to become a very large threat to the northwest of that low pressure. We have that high pressure, so bringing that cold air and influence. And then as this low pressure moves in more into now Monday night to Tuesday morning, we will have some snow developing across portions of the Midwest and as well even into portions of the Mid-Atlantic. So this could be our last snowstorm for the Mid-Atlantic. It could be quite significant. However, it's going to be way more significant across the Rockies and the Western Plains, where we can possibly see over 4 or 5 feet of snowfall. As we now go ahead and take a look at the European here, showing a very similar scenario. In the next 66 hours, you got that snow towards the northwest of that low pressure and portions of the Rockies there, portions of the Four Corners states, with that severe weather and heavy rain towards the east of that low pressure, where we have a lot of that humidity there and a ton of those really warm temperatures. As that low pressure does move more towards the northeast here, to Sunday, that snowstorm will become more significant as it does expand overnight, bringing in some more widespread cold temperatures as a result of this massive cold front we're seeing coming from British Columbia, and we're gonna be seeing some really heavy snow across portions of areas specifically like western Nebraska, northern Colorado, and as well portions of southeastern Wyoming. Definitely where we may see the bullseye. And then just to the east, we may see that big time severe weather. So we're going to be seeing some big time temperature differences just between half a part of a state to the other half part of the state. So it's going to be really impressive and definitely interesting here. Then the low pressure kind of spins around quite a little bit. That's going to be a line for that extra snow to come back towards portions of the southwest, back into Colorado, kind of dropping additional snowfall. And this is going to be really heavy. I would not doubt if we have blizzard warnings, like I said, because the winds will be quite significant. I'm going to be seeing some extreme amounts of shear in the higher atmosphere, and the isobars I do see are going to be very close. So we're looking at some pretty significant winds here, and that doesn't take part with the high pressure we're going to be seeing there, low pressure there, and a high pressure there. So it's going to all just kind of come around in this whole area right here. So we're really going to be looking out for those really strong winds, specifically where we have that heaviest snow. And then, of course, that severe weather kind of towards the east, making its way into portions of Missouri, into portions of the South Central, and even into portions as well in the Ohio Valley. But as we will have kind of this precipitation moving to colder regions, we will start to see that snow kind of developing into portions of the Midwest there in Illinois. Could see our possibly final snowstorm for Chicago there, some really heavy snow into portions of Iowa and as well Nebraska. And then, of course, we will have some slight snow, minimal accumulation to the mid-Atlantic. So this is the latest look at the snowfall totals according to the latest European. And as you see, they're just absolutely crazy for this snowstorm. Definitely going to be absolutely significant. And again, most of the snow, actually, the heavy snow may actually happen outside the mountains, like portions of western Nebraska, just outside the mountains. We're talking possibly near 4 feet of snowfall. So it's definitely going to be impressive here, but specifically, really watch, like I did say, western Nebraska, northern Colorado, southeastern Wyoming. And I don't really mention South Dakota too much because there's a big difference between European and GFS. So we're going to have to kind of keep that in mind. But specifically, those models, 2 models, are really taking aim for these areas right here specifically. We're facing a ton of snow there for Colorado, specifically into Denver, Colorado Springs, in the northeastern part of the state in general. We're going to possibly see 1 to 2 feet of snowfall. But the heaviest snow, according to the Europeans, is going to really happen towards Wyoming, western Nebraska, and southwestern South Dakota, where we can possibly get over 50 inches of snowfall in a small little region right here just outside Rapid City. So we may see very snowy Mount Rushmore. It's going to be very snowy across portions of Wyoming or Casper. And this is going to stretch all the way into portions of the Midwest there into Iowa, possibly near a foot of snow there into South Dakota as well. 15 inches near Pierre, 30 inches near Valentine, Nebraska, and we may see that snow go all the way into portions of the mid-Atlantic, maybe 1 or 2 inches there for Columbus, may get possibly half foot across upper Illinois and portions of upper Indiana, and anywhere from a trace to 3 inches across portions of the mid-Atlantic. Like I did say, going to be very minimal, but it's still going to be some decent snow for this time of the year. So here's now a look at the GFS, and they're showing things being a lot more significant, specifically in these areas right here. They're actually showing possibly 80 inches of snowfall, guys. 80 inches of snowfall with one snowstorm. 80 inches in areas in the upper Colorado region and as well upper southern Wyoming. Again, this is not like 3 snowstorms or 4 snowstorms like we see in the Sierras adding up to this all the snow. This is 1 snowstorm dropping this much snow within 2 days. I mean, we're going to be seeing extremely heavy snow in northern Colorado and southern Wyoming, and like I just say, western Nebraska. These areas can possibly see well over 3, possibly 5 feet of snowfall. Absolutely crazy, and this is definitely going to be by far one of our biggest snowstorms. Not how many states it's going to be affecting, but just snowfall in general, like accumulation. Again, a lot of this could happen just outside the mountains, like Cheyenne, just outside the mountains there. Western Nebraska, we're seeing possibly 3 or 4, 5, even 5, 6 feet of snow in these areas, and it's impressive because it's happening within 1 snowstorm. Obviously, we see this every single year in the sea areas, but it's 3 or 4 snowstorms that bring in this amount of snow. But we're talking 1 snowstorm within just 1 weekend. So if this happens, it'll be absolutely crazy. Cheyenne, according to this, may get well over 48 to possibly even 60 inches of snowfall there. Western Nebraska there, right near the border of the state, 40 plus inches of snowfall. Possibly over 4 feet of snow near Casper, Wyoming. Possibly half foot across Colorado, or specifically Denver. Right here in the northern tip there, Colorado may see 4 to possibly 6 feet of snowfall. And then, of course, the snow goes all the way into the mid-Atlantic here. We have that kind of cold air moving in, possibly more significant snow, according to the GFS, towards the mid-Atlantic. Possibly half foot or more across the upper portions of Virginia and West Virginia, with a few inches of snow on the coast, including Baltimore, even the Delmarva Peninsula, and even some good snow kind of more towards the north, including Chicago, Milwaukee, maybe some slight snow across like here's like Columbus and even Detroit. All right, let's try to mention now the severe weather part of this system here. So of course, we're seeing these very cold temperatures in the upper northwest, single digits, 20s as well. But just go a few hundred miles to the south, and we're seeing possibly 80 degrees there across Texas, there in the south central, with these 60s, going all the way up into areas like Canada already. We may start to get 70s in Pennsylvania already, 60s back in New York City within Thursday. So basically tomorrow it's gonna be a very warm day for many here. But as we now get into Friday, this cold air will start to make its way more in towards the Rockies. That snow will start to become more widespread, specifically in Colorado and Utah. And these temperatures will continue to get a lot stronger, or at least a lot higher by the time we get to Friday, getting near way over 80 degrees there, possibly. Gonna see maybe even some 90s in far southern Texas already. Maybe get 80, 89, possibly 90 degrees there. So it's going to get really warm extremely fast. And portions of far western Texas may reach over 86, 87 degrees. So it's going to feel like summer already. And as we now get into Saturday, these cold temperatures will just meet obviously far southern New Mexico may see high 70s. And the far northern tip may actually get possibly into possibly near 20 degrees there. So it's going to be a very big difference. Even all the way into portions like Amarillo may get 60 degrees, and the far northern tip may get even 40. So it's going to be a big difference. That's going to be allowing for that severe weather to start ramping up by the next few days across portions of the south central here. As we're going to be seeing that kind of cold air bringing an unstable atmosphere. So it's going to really increase the chances for that severe weather. Same thing into now Saturday midday. The temperatures are going to get really drastically different here between portions of New Mexico near 62 to portions near possibly 29. So it's going to be right here. We had that kind of cold air, that cold front coming in right here. Got the warm front kind of moving in right here. And then you can kind of see that low pressure right in between here. So we're going to be really watching out for severe weather, specifically right here with the heavy snow right here. That's kind of a good thing to see. But look at 70, 74, 75, even 80 across central Texas. So temperatures are definitely there to bring in some severe weather. Into Sunday, we're going to start seeing the 70s now moving into areas like Tennessee Valley, moving to Kentucky now. So that's going to really increase the severe weather chances now more towards the east into Mississippi there, portions of western Dixie Valley, Tennessee Valley. So temperatures are definitely there to bring in that severe weather. Speaking of that, those warm temperatures, 70s and 80s, will increase the Cape Valleys, or at least general energy, which will increase the chance for severe weather in general. By later tomorrow, we're going to start seeing possibly 2,000 joules per kilogram across, not 2,000, possibly just under 1,000 joules per kilogram in portions of the south central throughout early tomorrow. We get later on to tomorrow, we're going to see those lower numbers, 400, 500, 600 joules per kilogram. Getting later into now Friday, those numbers will start to increase a little bit here, getting to around possibly just over 1,000, 1,100 joules per kilogram. Not going to be anything too crazy throughout Friday. But as I get later on now into possibly Saturday, that's where numbers will be a lot higher, getting possibly 1,800 joules per kilogram there, and portions of far southwestern Texas. You're going to see some higher Cape Valleys, even moving to portions of Colorado, but obviously it's going to be way too cold to get any severe weather there. But then some interesting numbers start to pop up, getting just possibly 2,000 joules per kilogram there in far western northern Texas there. So we're going to really watch out for some severe weather, because Cape Valleys are definitely getting a lot higher than we saw a few days ago when I first talked about this. And then to Sunday, those Cape Valleys will stretch all the way into portions of Nebraska down into the Texas border. So definitely going to be very, warm, and there's definitely going to be some favorable conditions and some spotty areas for some severe weather development. Not only will we be seeing those really warm temperatures in Cape Valley, or in some decent Cape Valleys, we're going to be seeing extreme atmosphere here, which is perfect for severe weather development here. And it's going to go specifically right in the dead center where we can expect that severe weather. Portions of the south central there, portions of the plains, and that's going to go throughout Sunday here into Monday. That shear will start to increase now, portion of the south central. So we're going to be seeing a ton of shear there, no problem with that. And we're going to be seeing a ton of moisture. Look at Friday. Extreme amounts of moisture, specifically in the areas where we'll be seeing those warmer temperatures. looking for some severe weather there. So you can kind of see now Saturday. Look at Saturday. Really looking at these areas like Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Arkansas. You guys are going to be seeing extreme amounts of moisture throughout the weekend here. And that's going to carry on to now Monday. So we're going to be even seeing some severe weather threats possibly to Dixie Alley by early Monday, late Sunday as well. So definitely severe weather is a great possibility. Maybe a few, maybe even a slight risk, something like that. So definitely it won't be major. However, it is going to be a very long system, possibly throughout Friday to Monday. We will be seeing some severe weather threats back to back days. So definitely interesting. We let this definitely keep in mind. Conditions will be favorable for severe weather and the snowstorm. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on Friday.